Okay, so I have to do this kitchen here, and the minute I walked in, I noticed that the plywood is not down too tight. It's got a lot of nails in here, but for some reason they're not holding. So I just tried to see how tight they were, and I could pull the plywood up, get the nails out. Not too much of an issue. So as you can see, it's able to almost lift a sheet here. So I'm gonna have him come back and screw this whole floor down. Make sure it's tight. Can't have any movement on this plywood. It's got to be down tight before we put the Ditra on it. So that's what's going on with this kitchen floor. Okay, so they came back and they screwed the whole thing down, and now the floor is nice and tight. So we can go over this now with the Ditra, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is the Ditra, and there's about 330 square feet in the big roll, and it comes with the booklet in here. Tells you how to put it in. But basically I'm just going to roll this out, cut it all in, and then I'm going to get some modified thinset. You usually use full flex, and I'm going to cement it down. And the procedure for this usually is you dampen the floor, then spread the thinset with the back side of the trowel, then use the notch side of the trowel to make the ridges, and then you roll the Ditra into it and push it in. That's basically how you do it. Okay, so this is the thinset I'm using to cement the Ditra onto the plywood. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to just sponge that down a little bit so that the plywood doesn't pull the moisture right out of the thinset. And then I'm going to put the Ditra right into it. Okay, so first you key it in with the flat side of the trowel, and then once you've got it keyed in, then you turn the trowel around and use the notch side of the trowel. So you do that all the way down, and then you just keep on going till all the Ditra's down. Okay, so now use the notch side of the trowel, and you spread the Ditra out with the notches. So once you've spread out, you roll the Ditra back, and I usually use a wooden trowel like this just to push it right in to the thinset so it gets a good adhesion. And then you continue on with the rest of it. So that's basically how you do it. Now I've rolled it back on the other side. I'm going to do this side now, and what you want to see when you pull it back is some good coverage in the back there. So it really, you can see that really got into the thinset there. So just going to kind of continue now and do the rest of it. Okay, so that's it. The Ditra's all down, cemented down, and now I just need to start tiling. This is going to be tile going down here is going to be an 18 by 18 and a 12 by 12 in a pinwheel pattern. So we'll get that started and we'll finish up this floor. Here with this 18-inch by 18-inch tile, and it's in a pinwheel pattern where the tiles kind of circle each other. Anyway, when you put this stuff down, you need to use, over the Ditra, we're using a unmodified thinset, which is actually Ditra set that I'm using here, and an unmodified thinset is what's needed when you
install tile on Ditra. And these tiles here, when you put these tiles, because they're so large, the 18s or 18s are pretty big. The 12 by 12 is just really a normal size tile these days. But they all need to be back butted with the flat side of the trowel. So before you put them down, you spread your thin set. I'm using a 1/2 inch square notch trowel here. Then you fill all the waffles of the Ditra with the thin set. Then you go back and you use the notch side of the trowel. In this case, is a 1/2 inch square notch trowel. And then before you set the tile into the thin set, you back butter the tile with the flat side of the trowel. So you basically just giving a skim coat of thin set onto the back side of the trowel. And what this does is it keys the thin set into the tile. So, and then when you put that into the thin set, you get really good coverage. This whole floor is tiled except for a couple of areas here where we ran out of the 18 inch by 18 inch tiles, and we got too many of the 12 by 12s. Now when you order this tile, the pattern usually you order it by ratios, and so they ordered the tile according to the ratio that was in the book, but it turns out that I guess the ratio was wrong, and we got too many 12s and not enough 18s. So I'll be coming back on Monday to finish this floor.
Okay, so we ran out of the 18 by 18s to finish up this area, and this little area here, but all the rest of this is all grouted. So this morning I picked up the 18 by 18s, and I'm just going to finish this little area here and this little area here, and then he'll grout those two little areas on his own. So just got these two small areas to do. Okay, so that's it. I finished up all the tile here. He's going to put a threshold in there, another oak threshold there, 2 oak thresholds, and then when he redoes his bathroom at some point, we'll deal with that transition over there. And this area is all done here. This floor is going to be hardwood in there. So that's it. Tile's all done. This is my nephew's house, and he is going to grout these two little areas on his own. So I am done here. This floor is completely done. Pinwheel pattern. 18 inch by 18 inch tile, 12 inch by 12 inch tile on a pinwheel pattern.